Joshua, I hope I'm saying that. Please advise, looking for help for condo listing that fell out of escrow twice. Thanks. Here's the first thing I'll say. I feel your pain because I have a listing that we were under contract. We were in escrow twice. Actually, once. The first time, we didn't actually make it to escrow. In other words, we didn't even get to the earnest money deposit. And that is a wild story, which I'm not going to share that today. But maybe if somebody remembers the next time we're on, I'll share what happened with the first agreement. The second agreement, the buyer's agent ended up firing the clients after they walked away because they were just like crazy people. So the first thing I'll say is if you keep working, hopefully it'll work out. And what I mean by that is like there were several times the last couple of weeks I thought I am never going to sell this thing. And I love these clients. The woman who owns the property, she acts like she's my mom. She gave me a huge hug the first time I met her. Like I want so badly to help them. And we've had so much interest. Anyway, so I guess first thing I would say as an encouragement is something good is going to happen if you keep at it. Okay. If you keep at it strategically, like what would I tactically do? Number one, I would own it. Meaning as long as it's not breaking client confidentiality with your seller, when you get interest, tell them exactly what happened. Don't try to hide the fact because people are going to wonder, why is it back on market again? What happened this time? Because if it's gone under contract twice, it means it's in demand, which means there is a big, I'll call it silent audience of people that are interested in that property. Because if you had enough interest to have it go under contract twice, that tells me that the math is in your favor, meaning there's something about this property that is in demand. So with the agents and with the interested parties that you may have been talking with before, be transparent. Now, you want to spin it in the best light possible, but don't lie and don't try to hide things or whatever. So that would be number one. Number two, if it's possible in your market, you have got to do reverse prospecting and text and email all of the agents in your market that have clients set up that your condo listing fits their criteria. And even if you have to do it manually, meaning one by one, if you really want to get this thing sold, that may be what it takes to make it happen. I have shared several times over the last few weeks and even months my process for that in my market. And in fact, I have to do it tomorrow anyway. So I'll be sharing it on my live stream. Again, I go into Bright, I pull the reverse prospecting list, I copy it all. I copy all of them. I pop it in to AI. I usually use ChatGPT. If it's a really big list, sometimes I have to use Manus because Chat gets confused or whatever. All I'm doing is trying to get an organized CSV file that I can then drip out text and emails. I will share that tomorrow. That's a way that you could automate it, quote unquote. But look, sometimes you just got to roll your sleeves up and do the work. That's number two. Number three, I don't know what you've done to this point, but if you have any leads or database that had already expressed interest, meaning if you got Zillow leads from Zillow, and I don't mean pay like you're paying Zillow, like on my listings, I pretty frequently or with a fair amount of frequency, I will get free leads from Zillow, homes.com, and even some of the other ones, Trulia, etc., where people are going to my listing and they want to contact the listing agent. If you have any of those, I would go back to all of them and you could even send them a personal video message. You call, text them. I would use every means possible if they had previously expressed an interest. Number three, I have to do this tomorrow as well, so you can follow along on that as well. But I would blitz social media with it. And I have a process that takes all of 15 or 20 minutes, and you can get it updated and live on Nextdoor, on your Google business profile, on your Facebook page, and then share it into a bunch of groups. Because the more eyeballs, the more likely you are to get the end result. And I think the more, especially given the time of year and the fact that it's been under contract, the more urgency you bring to the situation, the more likely you are to actually get it sold. Meaning, I wouldn't wait. I would get to work on the things I'm describing like immediately because the weekend's coming up. And for most people, that's the showing window. And if you miss this showing window, then you got to wait another week. So I would do everything possible to get 3, 5, 10 showings this weekend. That's my rant, but we have a lot of other smart people here. What else might help, Shasha?
Thank you, Josh. You said it right. Appreciate it.
What MLS are you in? Just curious.
Out in California.
Can you reverse prospect? Do you know what that is? I just thought it was a thing that was in every MLS, but apparently it's not. Richard was
Yes.
shaking his head yes. Oh, beautiful. I would do that all afternoon. All afternoon. I don't know what the list size is. Sometimes in mine, I've got 75 to 100. Sometimes I got 400. That would be 100%. I would start there.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet.
I think of that, but I haven't done that. But I call all there's a lot of showing for the first time. Right now, we still have showing, but it's not enough. like it used to be in September.
Well,
So right
bravo,
now,
bravo for
I
doing that. You've already taken action, so kudos.
I called all the agents that have shown the property before, and
Yep.
some make offers and didn't happen, but they all found the properties. So
Yeah.
right now I'm thinking, okay, let's
Make
do
sure if they tell you that, make sure, as simple as this sounds, James, you were on yesterday, that one extra question that I asked Alex on the call. If they tell you, oh, those clients bought some, who else do you have that might be interested? Who else are you working with that might be interested?
Oh
And they
yes,
may
I did
not.
ask that too.
Okay, perfect. Beautiful. You
Mm,
just never
mhm.
know. You never know.
Yes. Yeah, one agent said, "Oh yeah, I have a couple buyers. Definitely will bring it to your property." Maybe he's just saying that, but I don't know. But I said, "Just come on." A
Yeah.
seller's very motivated now and than before.
Terrell had a good point. If the community is VA approved, make sure you shout from the rooftops that. Look for, and you may have already done that, done something along these lines, but look for the reason why the buyer, like what makes this either a good deal or an opportunity besides the obvious of the just the name, rank, and file of the MLS. And you probably have already done that, but this is for the benefit of everybody. Is sometimes you don't realize, like, for example, I am shocked at the number of agents in my markets that put listings in the MLS and they have no idea that the listing qualifies for USDA financing. Almost all of my market qualifies for USDA financing. Price-wise is a limiter also, but I get people that ask or want to purchase or are pre-approved with USDA, and I go into the MLS and I look for USDA approved, meaning like the financing type USDA, and it's 3. Even though I know with certainty there's 30 in the geographic area. Try to find that angle if there is one that creates interest or demand that might be there. And this is a really good point, patting myself on the back before I make my point. But this happens to me, and I'm sure it happens to all of you. We assume that the consumer has the same common knowledge as we do. That I do that often. I assume that they know X or Y or Z about this, that, or the other thing. And so never assume that the consumer knows literally anything about real estate. Some of them do, and they've really researched well and they understand and will ask good questions, challenging questions, but some have no idea about anything as it relates to them or to buying or selling. Yeah, go ahead.
Has his hand up.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
real quick.
Fernando's had his hand up, and then Richard. Thank you.
Yeah, real quick. So when you're reverse prospecting, are you dropping all the contacts into Bold Trail, or are you doing it from Gmail?
I am doing it with Go High Level. When I'm doing it one to many, I'm doing it in Go High Level.
Is there a specific reason why GHL rather?
It's because, and I've shared this before, and this is an example. This emphasizes a point I made earlier. I'm not saying this is the right answer. This is the answer that I have chosen for my business. My Go High Level is for cold outreach. My Bold Trail is for warm inbound, or at least more intent based. So if I'm doing cold outreach to a bucket of distressed sellers that haven't opted in, Go High Level. If I'm doing cold outreach to a bucket of real estate agents that have not opted in or requested more information from me or gone to one of my websites or anything, I'm going to use Go High Level. It's the choice I've made. I'm not suggesting it's the right answer. It's just how I am currently operating. Yeah. And the other problem is it's easier to do that methodology. The other reason is it's not easy to just be routinely dropping in CSV files of data into Bold Trail. You can, but it's not as easy as Go High Level.
It's finicky. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Yep. Richard.
In Southern California, especially, but in other parts of California, the California Regional MLS, CRMLS, primarily uses Matrix, which looks a lot like Bright. They may also have a secondary, I think it's Paragon, last I looked.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can reverse prospect in all those. Also, loan limits are going up for most types of loans. Come on, keep that in mind.
The not FHA approved, the community isn't, or is there some other reason why it wouldn't be FHA approved?
The community,
Okay,
the
gotcha.
community, yeah.
Gotcha.
So how do we know USDA financing approved?
If the community doesn't qualify for FHA, I doubt it will for USDA. But since I brought it up, I literally just go, if you start typing into Google USDA, for me, the first thing that shows up is the loan eligibility map. I don't know why it says loan eligibility, but you go to the property eligibility map. And then basically this is saying this isn't legal advice. But for example, if I put in my address, now I'm in an eligible area, but the homes in our neighborhood would not work for USDA because the income limitations would make it it wouldn't work. So there's a price level of home, and then there's a geographic eligibility. Most of my market qualifies for USDA from a geographic eligibility standpoint. Like downtown Harrisburg doesn't, downtown Carlisle doesn't, downtown Mechanicsburg doesn't, downtown York doesn't, downtown Lancaster doesn't. but most of the other areas. And just knowing that, just having that, it makes you more valuable. If you know in your area, generally speaking, what areas would be or might qualify for USDA versus what don't, you're more knowledgeable. You're demonstrating more expertise. I closed one earlier this year that was not FHA approved and was VA approved in Southern Cal. You might want to check into that, Joshua. Terrell said that.
Yes, thank you. I would.
The
There was
bigger,
one,
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
sorry. No.
There's one agent that really wanted to make offer back then and early on. And she said her client interested and she wanted to do spot approval for FHA. But at that time, we have multiple offers. So we're not willing to give her 2 days to do spot approval, meaning we have to put her in escrow in order for her to do that. Even though she offered, I think at that time, she offered like 10 or 15,000 higher than what we had at the time. But we didn't want to take a risk, give her 2 days, and then we might lose the other buyer.
Yeah.
So we didn't take her. But then when it fell out of escrow, we call her back. We want to try that, but then she already found something for her client.
Yeah. If that comes up again and you're not under contract by Monday, next week would be a good time to give that a crack, potentially. It's a holiday.
Right.
So, Michelle,
Have you, I'm sorry, have you
go
done
ahead.
that before? Spot approval for FHA?
I don't really have that in my market. Like most properties in my market qualify for FHA.
I see.
We have a few communities that don't. Maybe I did years ago. I don't remember the last time I've had to do that. Yeah. Michelle, before you go, just one thing here. One other point, just a general point to make with this. It's obvious, but since we've had several points around it. Just generally speaking, knowing and even putting together potential special financing solutions or options and communicating those, whether it's a listing like this that has been in escrow several times or not, is another way that you can get more attention. And the more attention you get on your listing, the more likely you are to get more showings. The more showings you get, the more offers you get, the stronger you will be and the stronger position that your client will be.